It's a step to your side.
Okay.
Nice.
Can you guys check on Facebook if
There we
we're
are.
live now?
Did you just reset? Did you just like?
They were asking for a post description pala.
Oh,
Yeah, and we only added a title.
Okay.
Cool.
It went silent. Oh no. Wait, I'm gonna add. This is not.
Kaya mo yan. The
I'm gonna add
bumper.
one more song.
Okay.
Jesus, do we still have any recommendations? Is it 8:32? 8:30. No commercials. Okay. So we can just go live after this song.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm a little frazzled.
No problem.
I came straight from work.
How much work?
It's a bit of a culture shock for me.
Why is it?
Where are you working?
I'm working in an advertising agency, so I'm in accounts, and
Oh.
I'm not usually used to corporate work.
Yeah, I was in advertising before. So
Oh yeah, you
just,
too. Oh my god. So
Yeah.
all three of us then.
Well, I was in creatives. I
You're
was
in creatives. I'm
I was
in
in-
accounts.
Yeah, accounts is also pretty intense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And like it's our two departments that are always like
Yeah,
butting
clashing
heads.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's like a little overwhelming for me because it's like
How many days
once I
is-
finish one job, it's like okay next.
How many days has it been?
Has it
How
been?
long have you been at the job?
My first day was last Monday.
Okay, so you're just getting used to things. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm adjusting.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But it's weird because it's like so it's in Makati. I'm from Taguig, so it's
Yeah.
not that far, right?
No, it's
and
not.
I go here, I go to QC, and I don't get tired. But for some reason, and I sit there all day. But for some reason, when I get home, I'm always like. I get like 6 hours of sleep and it's still not enough. I
Yeah.
wake up still tired and I don't understand why. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
Because you're soaking up too many people.
I guess so, but I'm an extrovert. I usually can handle it.
Maybe you're not.
I am. I really
You
am.
might think you are, but the fact that your social battery gets worn out, you should think
No,
about. You should
Okay,
consider
to be
that.
fair, I don't think it's my social battery. I think it's my physical body that gets
But
tired.
that's a reflection.
Is
It's
it?
connected.
I still go on calls at night.
You may think.
No, I'm
you're
not. I'm not
You
gonna.
may think you're an extrovert, but you may not be.
I really am though.
Maybe not, because if you're tired, that's a sign.
Hindi pa ako ready tanggapin.
Or an omnivore.
I used to think I was an ambivert, which is like a introvert / extrovert. Yun pala, I'm an introvert.
You're an
I'm an introvert. I can only soak up so much time with people. Then I need to be. I can be by myself for like give or take 4 or 5 days before I can
4 or 5
focus.
days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. You have 40 seconds.
What time's your ano? Or what time does your work start?
9 to 6, but we go overtime
Yeah.
quite a bit.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
They work you to the bone.
they do. Okay, off air.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 seconds. A couple of seconds.
5. Jam88.3, we are now live with Coffee, Comics, and Beyond.
Hey,
Right now we have here LC and a previous host here as well in the same show, JV Tanhuatco.
Yep.
Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody, hello everybody, and I hope you guys are stuck in traffic so you can
Ayun na
listen to
naman
us.
siya.
Hi Vera, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's
I-
good to be back.
Oh nga, and I understand you just came from your new job.
Yes, my first job. I just got hired, guys. And
Congrats.
it's a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice. Now the
And yet
slave.
she's here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. I love being here, guys. I love being back
and,
here.
and now the slavery begins.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying as well.
Well, anyways,
Okay.
I'm here now with JV Tanhuatco, our recurring guest, and and we're gonna be talking about your pitch party. What do you call
That's
it?
more like a pitching session.
Get this mic. Hey, there we go.
Okay.
I don't know why that doesn't stay put.
I'm gonna have. This is pretty bad, man. In the video, it looks pretty bad. I'm holding it.
Why would you give that
Jesus.
visual?
Why?
don't know how you
It's okay.
adjust
You're not
that.
the first one who said that that's a bit awkward.
It
Why
is.
doesn't
I had another guest yesterday who kept doing this, and I was like,
Why
how do I
doesn't-
do this?
Why
It
doesn't
won't
ano?
go. It won't go.
Stop doing that!
It won't go up. It won't go
Stop
down.
making it go forward and back!
Stop!
Look, it's dying.
Oh
It's
my
getting
God.
limp.
Oh
Okay,
my
okay, there.
Lord God.
Stay.
Oh
Stay.
my God,
God.
that's so bad.
Or-
Well, anyways, it's a pitching party.
It's a pitch session.
pitch session.
Yeah, it's a pitch session.
So explain this pitch session.
Okay, for the last month and a half, we had a workshop called Create Your Own Comics, right? So I got 34 participants to teach them from idea generation all the way to full-blown comic book, right? So at the end of the workshop, all of them are supposed to pitch to me their story ideas. And the best two pitches will be published by a comic book lab.
Wow.
And those stories will be drawn by some of the best artists in the industry.
Nice.
Okay, we're talking guys like Kadjo Baldismo Trece,
Yan na.
John Amor,
Yan na.
okay, of Urban Animal, and then Roy Allen Martinez of X Factor,
Mm,
right?
exciting.
And then and Jim Jimenez of Oceana.
I mean, and a lot of creators, that's one of the daunting tasks, to get a good artist. Unless you go AI, which is becoming a trend.
No, and we will never do
We
AI
will
because
not.
AI is a tool. Emphasis on tool.
Emphasis on two.
Yes.
So the pitch party will be down to two, so we'll be publishing 2 books.
It's going to be one book, all right? Each story is going to be 10 pages long.
Okay.
And it's going to be, remember those old school flip covers?
Mm.
Where you have it on one side and the other side, another cover on the other side,
Mm.
front covers? And then it's one's
Ah,
upside
yeah,
down.
yeah.
That type. And then, the stories meet in the middle, that type.
Mm.
So it's going to be like that.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone gave me, they gave us already all their pitches, and then we got it down to 12 story pitches.
Right.
They were so good. Originally the plan was like 10 story ideas, but they were so good. We said, okay, wait, let's do 12.
Okay.
Give everyone a chance.
Yeah.
As much as possible, give
Yeah.
everyone a chance.
Yeah.
So there. So this Sunday, these 12 participants will be pitching at Coffee and Comics
Yep.
at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Until 7.
So guys, if you want to catch nervous creators trying to pitch their work, and I know how that feels because I pitched a couple of times for film. Thank God I didn't need to pitch for comic books because I did my own. But for film, I needed producers, and it's hard. So check it out. It's in Coffee and Comics in Panay. That's located right next to the Tiny Bar. You can just Google it. You can Waze it. Check out our FB account and IG. Just type in thetinybar.ph or coffeeandcomics.ph, and the details are there. And it's I was reading you made me read some of the
Yeah.
pitches. So it's hard, log lines guys are like an elevator pitch. When you meet
Right,
someone in the elevator,
Yeah.
you have to tell them
Your story.
their story in like a
and
few
hook
seconds,
them. And hook them. Right?
instantly.
In an elevator pitch, it's usually maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But in a log line, it's like maybe 25 to 50 words.
It's that short.
It's that short.
And that log line has to encompass the whole story,
well,
and that's the hardest.
or not
part.
even, it will does, but it's also a teaser. I mean, you're always giving hints. So you got to have your story. You got to put in there your basic mainline story. Then you have your characters, your genre,
Right.
right? That should all be in there.
Sabi nila, the worst log lines are log lines that start with a question. Like, what do you do if the world goes dark?
Or in the trailer, in a world.
In a world, what do you do when food runs out? I mean, what do you do in a post-apocalyptic, zombie apocalyptic?
Right.
That's bad now.
It is bad.
It's
It is
like-
bad.
it
How
doesn't-
come?
I don't know. Some people say it's bad. I
mean, it's a bit of. I think it is a bit of a cliche. I mean, it really does. It really tests your skills as a writer, because you're trying to convey your excitement over your own idea to someone else. You want to transfer that level of excitement to them, and for them to go, "Oh my God, I gotta read that. I gotta know that." And maybe posing it a question is one way, but
Kind of lazy.
it's a bit it's a bit it's a bit lazy. So it's better to like come up with a story in those 2 to 3 sentences, but you just have to compose it. It may seem easy, but it's all about choosing the right words, and that's for me a testament of your writing skills.
It is, and it's also and a pitch party. It's just not your idea. You have to actually, like we were talking about last night. You have to sell yourself.
Yes.
In a way, you have to. Can you adjust this goddamn thing?
He's getting distracted, guys.
This is distracting.
My arm is getting
Okay,
tired.
okay, release.
No, it's going up. Down, boy.
Stay
Down.
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 This is sabi
Ayan,
ng
ayan,
pitching
ayan,
eh.
ayan,
Good.
ayan, ayan,
Oh, no.
Ayun,
ayan.
stay,
Ah,
stay,
stay.
stay.
Stay. Thank
Think
God.
of England. Thank you.
Think of your washing machine.
There you go.
So yeah, no, it's hard. And the best way for me, this is how I practice personally. How I get a property that I like a movie that I like, then I
Yeah.
create a logline for it. It's an example, like
That's fun.
disgruntled cop saves his wife from foreign terrorist, but he has no shoes. What movie is that?
Huh?
Would you want to watch it?
I would add one more part.
Yeah. Why does he have no shoes?
No, I would
There you
want- I
go.
would-
That's why you have to watch it.
Yeah, exactly that's the point.
Right.
It should be the person is asking the question, not you asking the question.
Not you,
When they hear the pitch, they, why is that? Why is he have no shoes?
They have to ask the question. Why? I'll give you the movie.
That's a cool way to go about it, right?
That's how you do it.
Yeah, because you arouse interest right away.
That's right.
the
That's right.
curiosity.
Why doesn't he have any shoes?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you the movie. You know what the movie is that? Die Hard.
Oh.
He doesn't have any shoes, and in one point of the movie, actually almost half the movie, he doesn't have any shoes.
Forgotten Die Hard.
You forgot Die
You
Hard.
forgot Die Hard?
Yeah, it's a long time
We're
ago.
all
For
heavily
shame.
judging
For
right now.
shame, for shame.
For shame.
And I am not the youngest one in here.
Wow.
How about
One of my favorite movies. One of my all-time favorite
Galing yan.
movies.
It's a Christmas movie pa.
Yeah.
How's this? Kunyari, I'll give you a generic movie. A pretty girl gets poisoned by an apple, and 7 dwarfs wait for the love of her life to wake her up.
Yeah,
Diba?
it's too straightforward.
Hey, but
It gave everything.
you know that's a way of practicing.
Yeah,
That's how I
it's-
do it.
Yeah, that's how I do. I mean, it's fun to do. You know, when you think about a movie that you've watched, and then
Create a log line
let's
for it.
bring it down. Yeah.
Okay, that's like a great
Yeah.
tip for our fellow writers
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, I'm sure they know na. Most of them know.
Or
So actually, I think you can apply that to any other pitches.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
arouse a question,
Yeah.
right?
Even if you have a product that you want to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in advertising, girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
pitch too to
Yeah.
clients.
I,
You're in
accounts,
advertising.
You're in accounts,
Uh,
no? So
Yeah,
you-
but
Yeah.
and then you're selling commercials.
Yeah.
You're selling concepts, premises.
Yeah, you have to sell your
So-
idea.
Yeah, the premise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Me, a fun thing for me is like, I pick a. If I was gonna do a Superman or Spider-Man, what kind of story would I do?
Hey, we were talking about
Yeah,
that.
right. I find that fun.
That's
It's
super
a good,
fun.
it's a good exercise.
fan
to have.
fiction. I love writing fan fiction. And last night we were talking about it, and we came up with pretty good ideas
Yeah.
just talking about
Yeah,
it.
it's fun.
You know, it's one way to for me. This is one practice of mine to come up with a good idea.
Mm.
Think of the worst idea. The worst idea, the worst book or film idea you can think of. Think of it, and sometimes you'll be surprised. That's actually good. I had that with a friend of mine before, and we were like really dishing out really bad stories, and I came out with what if people stopped defecating? The whole world stopped defecating. So the hero has to figure out why is that happening to the
You
world?
know what would happen? We would be full of shit.
We'll be no one. There's no shit. There is no shit.
No, we are full.
So you're full of it.
You know what happens? I researched on that. You know what happens? You get a heart attack.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's because all the toxins. Yeah, literally.
So, all the toxins.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
toxins.
I know a lot of people who's full of shit. But
Yeah.
Literally, this will really kill you.
Yeah,
You're full of
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
So, diba? And then I called that concept "Release Me."
Oh my god.
Wouldn't you watch that? Wouldn't you watch that? That's the worst idea I can think of.
I I guess that's how the human centipede got its
Oh
final
my
form.
God.
I don't know how they came up with that one. I don't know.
What's the log line for human
I don't
centipede?
know.
What's the pitch for human centipede?
I don't know.
Diba?
It's mouth to butt.
And then somebody said, "How does that work?"
I
What
want to.
happens when one has to poo? Watch the movie.
Oh, that's a nasty one.
I wouldn't want to be in that room, no, when the guy was pitching that idea. I have an idea for everybody.
But you gotta think of the guy who said it. Sold!
Sold! Let's make that movie!
make that movie.
I'll
It was
produce it!
supposedly just a joke.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just a
Human
joke.
centipede?
Yeah, but then they like actually pursued it.
That's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
Jokes, throw
Everyone's laughing,
ideas.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
And then silence. Like, let's make the movie.
Sharknado is probably just that happened the same way the Sharknado did. But think of the craziest concept. Sharks.
Well, I kind of think those guys were probably stoned, but you know.
But still, it became a cult following. It's a human centipede as a cult following. Can you believe?
Yeah, mga,
You can
it's
believe
so
that.
bad that it's good.
I was like, Vera, give me pitch something. Give me a bad
Wala.
idea. The worst idea you can think of.
Wait, the
Give me
pressure.
Give me the worst idea you can think of.
Worst idea.
The
oh my
worst
God.
idea. It's hard, diba?
That's hard. That
But-
is hard.
But if you
because
let
we're
go,
all trying to make the best
the
idea.
best idea. But if just go and just think of the worst thing you can think
Yeah.
of.
But yeah, but anyway, I mean, with pitching, it's story idea, story appeals. It should be as
Mm.
part of it, and how you come across.
Yeah.
How how you deliver it. It's
That's
all.
right.
They have to like you.
It's also the why. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Diba? So why is this important to you?
I think
Right.
that's what needs to come across. Like
Mm.
because that passion will come out.
Yeah.
And for me, especially, you want the people that you are telling the story to. You want them to like. At the end of the day, they have to like you.
That's right.
They also have to like you.
That's right.
Because you're selling yourself more than anything, actually.
Mm.
You're selling yourself. You're selling the idea, but you're also selling yourself because they don't know you. If you're someone with like an established art
Yeah.
author,
Yeah.
then yes,
Oh.
by that time okay. But right now, since you're starting at the bottom,
Mm.
you have to come up. Your likability is a big factor.
Yeah.
It's a reality. It's like how Stanley and Steve Dicto. Stanley was like there pitching and like going out there.
Ditko
and
was the introvert.
Dicto was an introvert, and he didn't want to,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So who do people think more about? Who created Spider-Man? They think of
Stan
Stan Lee more.
Mm.
Sorry to say, right? But
Same
that's
same with
that's
Bill
the reality.
Finger and Bob King.
Yeah,
So,
that's the reality.
you know nga yun. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen this Sunday. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
It's hard to pitch, huh? It's really hard to pitch. That's one of the
I
biggest.
think if you're gonna pitch, you gotta see it as like you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right?
oo
You
nga.
got and because if you think of it as the be all and end all of existence, you're gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
You're gonna go. I mean, just to tell you guys a story, when I pitched my comic Third World Power, I pitched it first to this competition called Project X,
Mm.
and it wasn't strictly comics. It was it was IP. It was intellectual property, and I pitched it, but I got rejected. It didn't work out. I mean, I was down.
Why was it rejected? You think you were nervous, or you were? What do you think?
I think it was maybe
What's the
partly because it wasn't what they were really looking for.
okay.
It wasn't. I think they were really targeting more
If-
the manga side or anything like
If
that.
that's the case, dapat they should have been specific to what they want.
I think they were
pitched.
still. I think they were still fairly new, so they were like still feeling things out.
I see.
But
I
yeah.
see.
But like at the end of the day, what happened is that the next year, Peacock had an open call for pitches,
Mm-mm.
and I had material ready based on the last pitch. So when
Game na.
I pitched it to Peacock,
Mm. You were ready na.
I was ready na. So they liked it.
nice.
And then I got into the top 10, top 11 finalists.
Nice.
So what I'm saying is every failure is one more step to success.
Nice. And how you pitched yours? You had a deck, right?
I had a deck.
Yeah.
I had already art prepared
Everything.
just from the previous one.
Mm, mm.
So it was all there. I just had to like reframe stuff or reformat,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was good.
Galing.
Yeah, it was still,
Galing.
So it's fortunate. I mean, these things happen. Like, there's always, even out of everything that's bad, something good always happens.
Yeah. Like human centipede.
Everything. don't know.
You
how
saw
that's
that? No, did you?
No, I actually
you
have
watched that? I have
not.
never seen
I
it.
have
I've
never
never
seen
I
seen it.
refuse to
But I
watch
think
it.
we've all read the Wikipedia.
I
or
get the
something.
concept. I don't need to see it.
Okay na.
We did the Wikipedia all.
It's shock value
God.
But I don't know how Garth Ennis does his pitches. No? I mean, the guy with that, how did he pitch Crossed, for example? diba?
How did he pitch Preacher?
How did he? Well, that's his magnum opus.
Yeah, but at the time
That
he
was-
wasn't. He was still like he was a Hellblazer.
Yeah, oo.
You know, but still that was it's a crazy enough pitch. But because he was already
That's-
building up his resume, he was still able to sell it.
But that, when you think about Preacher, it had an interesting premise. When you hear I can imagine the pitch. A preacher from a remote area gets the word of God. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It'll spur some interest.
But I think also he adds he would have added that pitch is that he gets the word of God, but he uses it to go hunt God. You know, for all the things that God he feels
See,
God is
that's
accountable for.
That's even better.
So that's very blasphemous in a sense.
That's very and it spurs so much intrigue.
Yeah.
Like I want to read that.
Yeah. The question though there is like how, you know, DC like, wow, this could be very controversial. How do should we do it? But because it was him, Garth
Mm.
Ennis, he said, no, I trust this dude. We can do it. We can get this guy.
And I think it also boils down to timing, and if the industry is looking for something during that time, shock value had a big part. You know, the comic book industry was kind of like it wasn't that strong. It was kind of dwindling during Preacher. No, it wasn't that. It was getting too much attention.
I noticed that when the industry is like, you know, times are bad,
They do shock value.
yeah, they'll pull out all the stops already. They'll
Just
do,
to-
you know, they'll throw whatever into
Mm.
the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, I remember in the 90s, the whole exaggerated bodies came out because of Image, diba? When Image first came out, it was all these giant breasts and giant muscles. It doesn't make sense, diba? Liefeld and all those guys, just exaggerated proportions. But those books flew off the shelves.
Yeah, because you know the target market there was like, you know, hormonal prepubescent boys. So of course that was gonna get them.
Even Marvel had to do the same thing, diba? And they have to.
They had swimsuit editions back then.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you know,
I got
swimsuit
all of
What's a
it.
edition.
swimsuit edition?
Comic books.
Comic book swimsuit edition. The X-Men in bikinis.
Oh,
Yeah.
like literally swimsuit edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yep, that was a thing back
Yeah.
then.
Oh, back then, so not
Back then.
anymore.
Not anymore. No. I think they did one a couple of years back.
Mhm.
You know, but that was a thing before because like Sports Illustrated the swimsuit edition was always a
Yeah.
very popular
I
you
can
know, magazine
imagine.
at the time.
Yeah.
You know, so you had like you had like Rogue, Psylocke, Jean Grey in their bikinis and stuff like that. You know, tastefully done. Tastefully done.
Even Professor X Kata was part of
In a
that.
bikini?
In a speedo.
I don't know what edition you were.
I don't know.
Sure.
I'm the one that does it, Professor X.
Sure, dude.
But Beast was there.
Yeah, but he's always naked, technically, because he's just furry.
That's right.
Oh, God.
So yeah, pitch party happening this
Sunday.
at 3 p.m. That's June 1.
Yeah.
Grabe, no, June na. It's like crazy. What happened to the year?
I know.
It's like
right?
the mid-year.
I don't know.
What happened to 5 months? My gosh, it's just wow. It just
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't
off the
relate.
shelf.
It was like, it's been too long for me. I feel
Really?
Like, I feel like it's been 2 years.
wow.
I think when you get to our age,
Oh,
one
really?
month feels like 1 minute already.
I thought I was just
Because you
having a
get
hard
used
time.
to it.
man. Really? I
Well,
hope
time
so.
is
You
right.
get used to it. Time moves faster when you get older.
That's the case, no?
Hmm?
Usually, that's usually the case.
I think
Mm.
so. I think
Ah,
so.
freak. Okay, do we have a song to play? Can we play a song?
Yeah, we actually do have a song to play here. So this was requested by Benny Jacinto 818. Quite a long paragraph there, but I got you. So here is Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, only here on Jam88.3.
Okay, we can
There we go.
actually we can go back and say bye bye. It's done, eh? It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Okay, hindi, we can do like hindi rin. Hindi na aabot. Okay na yun. Because ang haba pala ng song.
I took their time.
But we can extend for a
You
bit.
guys are gonna get interviewed at the Sigma Media
Oh,
Lounge.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this is gonna be posted
When
on
it-
the Sigma YouTube, which is shown internationally.
Wait, when is this again exactly?
It's gonna be either June 3 or 4.
Okay,
Yeah, between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
okay. What time should we be there?
I'll find out after I send your names,
All right.
and then they'll
Cool.
propose the schedule.
And
Game,
ano,
game, game.
Basically, parang ano. Wait, so you wanna say bye na to your ano?
Wait, hold on. Did you say everything
Do
already?
you want to go live again after this song? Just like really quick
Fast lang.
wrap up.
Yeah, do that muna.
Okay.
I'll just show you the ano.
But it's song to go through the best way. You know this? You know the comic books that they're talking about? Go send in questions. Last night balloon and because I have a friend, his name's Patrick, and he's like the geek of all geeks.
Is he?
Yeah.
When someone says geek of all geeks, I love to challenge that.
Oh really? So JV says he'd love to challenge your. How can you do it?
So para siyang ganito. It's gonna be like this. This one, ako yung in-interview. So ito she interviewed me about recruitment and women in iGaming. So this is shown in their YouTube and then also in their website. So this time I'll be the one interviewing you guys.
Oh, okay. Game, game, game.
So medyo dress up.
Yeah. Cool. I'll talk about comic book club. New
yun,
clients.
sakto yun.
Diba? And that's good for you, yeah, to promote your comic books. And then you'll also get to rub elbows with investors and people in, mga CEOs. And like I said, I met the owner of Pornhub last year.
Oh.
You meet people like, because this is
And
the
he-
web
That's
space
wild.
that you normally don't get to,
Hold on,
you never meet.
The Pornhub person wants to get you or something.
No, he wanted to get this really tall girl that looked like Kendall Jenner, but she was like 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah. Siyempre, may kakaibang, yun.
So wait, that's different from the dinner.
It's part of the dinner's part of it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's different from the dinner. The dinner
Different
is
from
you're,
the Hotel Conrad.
yeah, kinuha ko kayo as media because kinuha namin yung minutes niyo eh. But you're media because you're hosts for a radio show.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice job.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Tahi.
Tahi-tahi.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm up for that.
And it's fun. There's drinking, there's eating, and after party.
Pero after the we say goodbye, play the reklamo song.
Oh
Play.
right.
Do you need just like your goodbye?
Okay. I'm gonna mention one thing about presentation materials. I didn't realize how long this song was.
Super long, man.
Was it 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Almost 6 minutes. Because it's 5:51.
It should be banned on the radio. It's too long. Chopped to two
Or like a
parts.
shortened version.
Walang short.
There is no radio edit, surprisingly, for this song.
Bro, is there a way to get in as media sa 19 East kay Basti?
Yes, of course.
Yes, can
Yeah, I know. We just interviewed him about this. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll message him.
Okay, sige.
Yeah,
bring your
maybe my
dad.
dad and I can come.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Cute.
That's the
Like,
perk
I-
of coming here for
Yeah,
free.
yeah.
To work for free.
I gotta do
That's-
this
that's
for
the
him
perk.
because it's like,
It's gonna be nice.
I've always known he's been a big fan. It's
Yeah.
like, why am I here if not to get him there,
No.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
That's very nice for you to do that
Who's
for your
Keith
dad.
Marshall?
Is that a singer?
I don't know.
Sounds like a country singer.
Sounds familiar.
Parang country singer. You can fade that na. Can you fade that song?
Mhm.
Pwede bang i-fade song yan? Walang ganun.
Ay,
Fade out.
malapit naman na.
Fade out.
Yeah. 45 seconds.
Mm.
Twenty seconds. Jam 88.3, we're back on Coffee Comics and Beyond for any last parting words, anything you guys want to promote.
Yep, JB.
Well, yeah, I just want to say that one thing I want to add the whole pitching thing is that make sure you're ready with your presentation material, right? And that should include any possible art that you might have, just to help. I mean, it's got to be, that's the deck is crucial.
Well,
Diba?
the
It's
visuals are
visual.
crucial.
And and their creativity comes out from that deck.
Mhm.
At the same time, though,
Mhm.
I think also I would give points to people who are innovative, who think of the things that that are beyond what's expected.
Right.
So, for example, if you have a song for your story,
Yeah,
why not?
why not?
You can play it, but that's a double-edged sword. Because what if your song sucks?
It
No,
can
but it's
come-
like it's world building.
It's got to be catchy.
Mhm.
Or it could come out as a bit gimmicky, too
Yeah.
gimmicky.
But that's okay. I mean, for me, that's fine. But as long as if the song is really good, then it won't matter.
And I can't stand pitches that they just read what they wrote.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do
Mm,
not
mm,
read
mm,
from
mm.
your, do not look at your, look back and stare at your presentation deck and read it verbatim. No,
Mhm.
no.
And
no.
this is coming from 3 advertising guys.
Yeah.
Like, do not read your
That's-
presentation, guys.
No.
Don't tell us something that's not in the presentation.
Mhm.
So you should, and I keep on saying that know your log line, know your elevator pitch by heart,
By heart.
and you should know your story
By
by
heart.
heart.
By heart. It's
All those
important.
things, that aren't even there, but it's in your head.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Yeah, so that's this Sunday, guys. Check it out. This is happening in Coffee and Comics, and the Tiny Bar. So just check out our socials. Go to thetinybar.ph or coffeeandcomics.ph for more details. It starts at 3 p.m. So we see y'all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hope that any listeners right now tuning in to Jam, we hope you guys come in as well and pitch in your stories, pitch in your passion stories, guys, because you never know when it's going to get picked up and noticed by somebody important. So,
That's
yeah.
right.
Come in this Sunday, 3 p.m. at Coffee and Comics, or Tiny Bar. All right. So thank you for coming in. This has been Coffee, Comics, and Beyond on Jam 88.3. Right up next, I will be queuing up the signature song of our one and only Elsie De Leon.
Hell yeah.
This is
Do
Be
it.
Unique, Just Like Everybody by Reclamo. Only on Jam 88.3.